Good morning, Fupa Fabulous. Good morning, Creations by Baby Doll. How are you doing today? How are you doing? Rabbit's making noises. Good morning, Denny. How are you doing? It's kind of a gray day here this morning. We're going to get some rain. Ah. We're struggling today. Oh no. What's going on? I had an emotional couple of days. One of my cats passed away. Late Tuesday, early Wednesday, middle of the night. And then we buried her last night. So it's been emotional. We've had an emotional couple of days. I finished the blanket yesterday. Yes, it was kind of small. I mean, it didn't completely cover her. For the most part, I mean, her head and her face and her tail stuck out of it, but for the most part, the rest of her was covered. So it worked out, and that was really what got me yesterday when I went out to wrap her in it. Was what got me all emotional again was seeing her face. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Yeah, I just started my coffee, so it hasn't kicked in yet for me either. Thank you. Yeah, it was a very unexpected death because she was not old. She was only 5. And it just came out of nowhere. She went from being fine to not being fine. So, hello, TJ. How are you doing this morning? And I don't think it's really sunk in with me yet either, because she would hide a lot. She would do her own thing. She did love to snuggle when the dog wasn't around, but other than that, she would be off on her own somewhere in the house. So the fact that I don't see her is not unusual. So it's kind of hard for it to sink in that she's gone. Thank you guys. Yeah, I hate losing animals. I love animals. I love pets. I've got so many of them. It's just loss is just going to be a part of my life because I've got so many of them. I mean, Oreo makes 8 pet losses this year. So I'm an expert on losing my pets, but it's hard every time. And I lost my rabbit only barely a month ago. Um, so yeah. And I lost a cat last year. So Definitely. Right now in the backyard, we have 4 animals buried. We buried a cat, that died in 2014, of old age. Um, and then a cat last year of old age. Then my rabbit, just a month ago, and then this other cat. So we've got a pet cemetery in our backyard. My husband said, when we move, all these animals are staying here. And I'm like, unless we take them with us. But he was like, ideally, we should have them cremated, but that's money. That's a lot of money. We can't afford to cremate them all. Yeah, and that's exactly it. My pets are like my family members. I mean, our kids are pretty much grown. Our youngest is 17. So our kids now are our pets. And I mean, we still, even with the loss of this cat, we've got another cat. She's sitting like right over here. Um, she always makes her debut into the camera. um, we've got 2 dogs. I've got another rabbit. We've got a lot of rats in the house. I mean, we've got a total of 10 rats in the house. Um, and I've got mice now that they're technically not pets, but because they're for breeding feeders, but so there's still animals in the house, and I still hate seeing when they're suffering, and I'm trying to take care of them. So, and then we got fish, lots of fish. We got this tank right here is mine, and then I've got 3 others that are mine, and then we got one over here, and we got a bigger one further back behind this one that my husband takes care of. So we got a lot of animals relying on us, and it is hard when they don't make it. H7, is that the cat? The one that passed away? No. The one that uses the curtains as a hammock is still around. She's right over here. Come here. Come here. Yeah. See? She's still here. If you need anything, my links are in my about section. Or if anyone needs anything or someone. Oh, thank you, TJ. That's very nice of you. This fish tank back here that you can see is just a 20-gallon tall, and I've got 2 goldfish in there. A fantail goldfish that's just orange, and his name is Cheeto. And then the other one is a telescope. He's got telescope eyes, and he's a calico. And his name is Dorito. And then I've got 2 giant Florida apple snails. They're actually on the edge here, over here. They're almost baseball size. They're getting about baseball size. And between the goldfish are messy fish anyway, but then you add those snails in, and snails are messy too. The tank gets pretty dirty. Yeah, she uses the curtains as a hammock. I'm sitting in a different place. Usually I'm sitting in front of the window, and you guys always get to see her make her bed in the curtain, and she like leans into it. She'll get into the window, come back out with the curtain and lay in the curtain, and if the curtain wasn't there, she'd fall off the couch. Giant Florida apple snails? Here, I'll let you see. Come here. Oh, come here. You're not coming here. I'll bring it to you. Although that's gonna be they suction really hard to the side. They don't want to come off. Come on, let go. There we go. So this the giant Florida apple snail, and I got 2 of them. Very big and very messy. Hello, Vanessa. Aquatic Nest actually gave me these snails. Yep. They're nice and big. Look at that. They eat, well, they do eat, I'm going to get my sweatshirt in here. They do eat the fish food if they have the opportunity, but they also love green beans. So I thaw out some green beans and I put them in there and they eat that. Yes, she still has another 4 of those snails at home. Now my arm is all wet. Hey Barry, how you doing? How are you, Vanessa? I wanted to put my arm mostly in so I didn't have to drop the snail, because as heavy as they are, they'll hit the bottom pretty hard and I don't want to crack any shells. Yep, it is. I can actually just wipe my arm on I'm wearing my pants they're like grooming pants. Um, and they dry pretty quickly, so I'll just rub them on my pants. These are the pants I wear to work because I get wet a lot at work having to spray down crate or like kennel grates and stuff. So I wear scrubs they dry quickly. Been shopping all morning. H7. I'm doing all right, Barry. It was a rough evening yesterday. We buried Oreo and yeah, I couldn't look at her face without crying, so yes, exactly. Yep. The bigger the tank, the more wet you're gonna get. Vanessa's been bringing in fish from her outdoor ponds. You're gonna do your live today. I gotta work today. Boo hiss. I gotta clip all the dog's toenails today. You got them all inside. Whoop whoop. See, before I can have a outdoor pond, I'd have to have tanks that they can go into in the off season. I mean, I do have that 55 still. I haven't cleaned that out yet. I have to get motivated. There's Cheeto swimming across the screen. Dorito at the bottom there. There's Dorito. What time? What time do I got to work? I got to be there at 4, so I got to leave at 3:30. All my mice are doing well. Right now they're in the bin and they're all in that little cushy bed. Every single one. Well, no, not every single one. One of them is out. 2 of them are out. But I know I got to get to it. Although our Jack Dempsey has been acting funny, or he's been getting pretty fuzzy, and then he looks better, and then we're treating him, he'll get fuzzy and then he'll get not fuzzy and then he'll get fuzzy. We don't know if he's gonna make it or not, and my husband was like, if he dies, he's gonna move all of the fish from the 55 into that tank, and then I can use that tank. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, every time we think Jack's not gonna make it, he clears up and does better, and then we're like, look, the next day he's like, oh look, he's fuzzy again. But he pulls through everything. Like he gets sick and he doesn't die, and then he gets better and then he's good. And like there's been so many sicknesses in that tank that he just lives through. I don't even know. He's invincible. But he's got tattered fins right now. He gets fuzziness on him, and then it goes away, and then it comes back, and we don't even know. We don't even know. They were large rats. They were adults. Those rats then were adults, probably at least a year old. I wanted to take a picture to show you, but I don't really know the girl who brought them in. But that's cool. Are they like staying at work? Or at work at school? Rats, a lot of there are some teachers that would take rats in for class pets or whatever. When I was in the second grade, we had a guinea pig for a class pet, and of course, it was kept in a cage that was too small because back then they didn't know what they know now. They were white, just like they were white like my mice, because I don't have any all white rats. I mean, Lexi is mostly white. Yeah, the white mice, the white rats with the red eyes. We have got a couple of those at work, some large ones. Hello, Ben Rit Games. Hello, how are you? Yeah, I miss my Oreo kitty. Here, I'll show you guys. She never made a lot, she didn't make a lot of appearances on my channel, but that was Oreo. My sweet, sweet Oreo. There we go. I'm gonna miss her. My baby. Frosting. What are you talking about? Woo! I'm bright. What's what's a lot of frosting? What are you talking about? Oh, he called her Oreo. Yeah, that's her name. That was her name. Oh, hi, average girl. Yeah, they're not going to eat very much if their mouth hurts. They also, I don't know if cats are like dogs where they won't eat what they can't smell. So if he's got something upper respiratory where is congested or anything, he's probably not going to want to eat either. If they're like dogs, that we experience that at work when the dogs are congested, they don't want to eat. Yeah, I don't want to go to work today. I gotta clip doggy toenails. Some of them aren't so bad. They'll sit there and let me do it. Others struggle like crazy. We've got a beautiful Bengal cat. The Bengal that bit me, we don't have anymore. She was sold. She was a snow Bengal, so she was a very light color. Now we've got a male that's darker, and he's got leopard spots on him. He is gorgeous, and he's got a very different temperament. He's very laid back. He's gorgeous. Well, I think she'll kill me. She doesn't like me already. I don't think she'll like it if I touch her feet. Otherwise, I would. Oh, she'll kill me. Trevor hasn't been here yet. He commented on my devotion video, but he hasn't been in here yet. Oh, the mice are doing well. I brought home two little baby hoppers yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Um, two little baby girls, and they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. My other hoppers are boys, and they are like little miniature adults now. They don't nurse anymore. They drink out of the water bottle. They make nests, like they grab the paper towel and everything, and they'll like make up the bed and stuff like that. But the little baby girls are so stinking cute. They're new hoppers. When we got them last Friday, they were fuzzies. So they just recently opened their eyes. They're so cute. You do them. I don't like doing uh Bella's nails. She struggles. I very rarely have to do Brinley's because she runs around so much that she wears them all down. I can't even remember the last time I actually cut them, and they're not that long. Um, she's so crazy she wears them down, which is fine by me if she wants to wear them down because I actually have to sedate her to cut her nails. So I prefer not to do that. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, Barry. Whatever you want to do. You could totally vlog cleaning your room. Set up the camera and clean my room with me, and we can all watch you clean your room. He shows interest in food, but takes a few bites and then shakes his head like something is bothering him. Hmm. Well, so it's not that he's congested because he's interested in it and he does take bites. So he's either got something hurts in his mouth, or if he shakes his head, maybe it's something with his ear. I don't know. I don't know. You can do whatever you want in your life. Well, that doesn't look comfortable, little Miss Hopper. She's like, she's being groomed by the male Hopper, but she's like clinging to the side of the bed. This doesn't even look comfortable. Alrighty. There, now she's back in. But the male Hopper is totally grooming her, and it's really, really cute. You don't know what you want to do. We had actually like a winter coat for Bella. I don't know where it went to. I don't think we kept it because she's kind of bigger now and I think it's too tight for her. I want to find her sweater. She had the sweater with the hood, and when I would put the hood up, she just like, Mom, really? She just looked so stinking cute in it. But since I keep her hair short in the winter, I like her to wear the sweater when we take her out because she shivers. And it's a pink and white striped sweater with a pink hood, and she just looks so cute in it. But I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Might have to get her another one. Yeah, some dogs don't mind wearing things. Mine don't like anything on their head, but putting something on their body, they don't mind. Hey David, how are you doing? My When I had an American Eskimo um dog, she didn't like sweaters. We had a Christmas sweater for her and we pretty much I put it on her and she just kind of sat there like she hated it. She hated it. And I found that the best way to get her to behave when we had company over was to put the sweater on her because she would sit there and not move. She wouldn't even react if I asked if she wanted a cookie. She she just sat there like a deer in the headlights. So when we had company over, because when people would come over, she'd jump around and get crazy and bark and all of that. Put the sweater on her, she was an angel. But it was because she hated the sweater. Hey, Southern Belle, how are you doing? They have a banana split costume. Yes? Or a hot dog. I've never dressed them up for Halloween. So they just have, sweaters to keep them warm. I did crochet a sweater for Bella once, but I have to perfect it. It was the first one that I did, and it didn't really fit her exactly right. So I need to try and do another one. Try and get it to fit her a little bit better. All right, no problem. Yay, he's been eating for 5 minutes now, no head shaking. Yay! Maybe he'll have to get a tooth pulled or something, or get his teeth cleaned. I don't know how much it costs for teeth cleaning at the vet. Hi. Yeah. Hi. Oh, oh, she's purring. I had a little Pomeranian. She had formal gowns she would wear when we watched. Aw. Yeah, I don't dress mine in costumes. They just have like Bella at least has a sweater. We did have a shirt for Brinley when she was a little smaller. It wouldn't fit her now. And we've never had booties for them. I should probably get little booties for Bella for when she goes outside in the winter because she can't stand when her feet get cold. So if she's walking in the snow, she like begs me to pick her up because and if I don't, she will literally fall over and cry because her feet get cold. So she's a little priss. So I probably need to get her some booties so she can walk around outside in the snow. But then she'll probably just walk funny because every dog, walks funny when they wear little boots. Yeah, I hear that. Well, we're getting ready to replace our couch. We're gonna throw it out because it's got a broken spring in the back. It's got a hole ripped in the back. It's got holes in the front. The dogs like to try and pull the stuffing out and all of that. We're gonna get rid of that couch. We used some hotel points to get some gift cards so that we can replace it. So it's not going to cost us anything to replace it, which is nice. Yes, they get sick when the money is tight. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it's been like for us this year with all our animal deaths. We can't afford to take them to the vet when they absolutely need to go. And then when we're fine, when everybody's healthy. Yep, yep. Oh, you guys are such cutie pies all in the bed. Everybody's in the bed right now. All 10 mice are in this bed. So cute, cute, cute. See, that tank looks so much better when it's cleaned. I cleaned it out on Tuesday. Chris, my second oldest cat, managed to knock one of her little front teeth out. She would lick the soft food off of the hard food. I had to give her her own special bowl. Aw, poor little baby. How'd she knock her tooth out? Yeah, when Bella was a puppy, when we got her, her teeth were still growing in. Like we got her when she was 8 weeks old, but her baby teeth were still growing in. So we had to take the kibble and we had to water it down, like put some water in it and get it mushy for her. Yes, it's a cuddle party. Here, they're not in the cage; they're in the bin. But because I put them in the bin overnight, but here you guys can see. I don't know. It's going to be kind of darkish because um, there's not a lot of light in here. Let's see. There we go. Everybody's. Sorry for the echo, guys. I can't get the volume to go down any further. Here, let me do this. I'll just turn on my other mic. They're all in the bed. Everybody's in the bed. These are mice, Barry. These are mice. My rats are in a cage, but these are mice. Ah, they're all sleeping in the bed. Well, laying in the bed. They're not all sleeping. Yeah, they barely fit. They have to hang over exactly because there's 10 of them. This is not a huge bed. There's 10 of them in here. They do. I mean, no matter how big of a space you give them, they're all going to sleep in a pile. They look like little powdered donuts. They're chilly, yeah. They keep themselves warm this way, that's for sure. Yeah. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. The little babies are on top or completely buried. Boop, boop, boop. I mean, I could go ahead and put them in the cage and we can see some movement. I just have to grab them one at a time, stick them in the cage. Yeah, they get along. The only time that I think Dad has some battle scars on his face, some battle wounds on his face, because I think that's the only time there's a little bit of a scuffle is when he's trying to make his moves on one of the females and they are not in the mood. What's for dinner tonight? I have no idea. I'm not even going to be here for dinner. I work till close. Whatever my husband's making. And then actually after I work, after I'm done, I got to go and pick up Ian. So it's going to be like probably 11 o'clock before I get home. I'll probably end up eating something on the road. Ooh, baked potato soup. I love potato soup. Just sat down and the fish lights come on. See, that's why I'm glad mine aren't automatic. Baked potato soup. I want some baked potato soup. Look at my wallpaper is like curling off the wall, which is fine. I don't want the wallpaper. We've been talking about putting up like a really nice paneling so that we don't have to take the wallpaper off. Like, because I don't want to go through having to take all the wallpaper off. So the easiest way would be to just panel over top of it. And you just get a really nice one. But then my husband's like, well, then we gotta measure all the funky corners and the edges and because it's not all gonna be one piece and blah blah blah. He's like, I'd rather just paint, but in order to do that, gotta rip all the wallpaper off. I hate this wallpaper. I mean, they wallpapered pretty much the entire house, whoever lived here before. I'll carry you around in my phone. Soup season is here. Yes, I love potato soup. I love cream of mushroom or cream of potato or mix it together. Cream of potato with mushroom, cream of mushroom together. Yum. Add some extra potato in it. Throw some cheese in there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this weekend we're supposed to get some frost overnight. It's supposed to drop cold enough to get some frost. There's my hot Cheeto and Dorito swimming around back there. Yep. I prefer chillier just because you can dress in layers. But when it's too hot, even if you strip down to nothing, which is indecent, it's still too hot. I prefer being chillier. I mean, I don't like too cold, but I don't even own a winter jacket. I just wear like I wear layers. My husband was like, "Go and buy yourself a winter jacket." And I'm like, "I just put a few hoodies on. I'm good." You have bad circulation in your hands. Eh. Exactly. And you have no fat. What are you talking about? But that's exactly why I like the hoodies and stuff too, is like nothing form fitting. You forget I've seen you in person. You have no fat. You are skinny. I wish I was as thin as you. Yes, thighs and armpits. It's all about hiding it. Yeah. I can't hide mine very well. That's why I need the bigger clothes and under boobs. Yeah. Look at this chin. Even when I was a lot skinnier, I still had this chin. I'm like cursed with this chin. Yeah, in the winter, you get to go without a bra because the hoodie hides everything. Ah, oh, goodness. Ah, yes. And then, of course, since you don't have to wear shorts or anything, you don't have to shave. It's hairy season, isn't it? It's hairy season. You're too skinny. You're probably skinny like Ian is. Ian has no body fat whatsoever, and I don't know where he got. Well, I was skinny like that when I was a kid, but then your metabolism will slow down and then you'll puff up. Oh, you still have to shave, just not as often. Yeah, but Ian has no body fat whatsoever. He is skinny. I've been thick since puberty. See, when I was 23, when I married Ian's dad, when I was 23, I was 125 pounds. Yeah, I ain't seeing that again ever. I would be, yeah, nope. Skinnier. Yeah, I was 125 pounds when I married Ian's dad, and now I don't even want to say. It seems like it's a. It seems like once you get married, it's like there's something in the air. You get married, and boom, you start gaining weight. My hubby actually doesn't even care. He's like, I don't care if you shave. I'm like, oh, are you sure? Oh, okay. Mm, our Dairy Queen doesn't close because we sell other things other than ice cream. Our Zestos, we have Zestos ice cream, and they're closed already for the season. Yeah, no shave November goes through till spring. Exactly. I've been teased though in the past when I was with Ian's dad is like, you can sing with the crickets, rub your legs together and sing with the crickets. It never closes for the season. I like the blizzards at Dairy Queen. I get the chocolate extreme blizzard. How old are those drumsticks, Barry? Yeah, there are times that I can't stand it either, and then I have to shave, and then I'm like, wow, it feels so much better. I just hate doing it. It takes, I hate doing it. It's too much ground to cover. Yes, it doesn't melt as fast when it's cold. Yes, I'm playing with you. I just wanted to make sure they weren't as old as those pancakes. Oh my gosh, there are little butts hanging out of the bed. There's a hopper butt, there's an adult butt, there's faces hanging out of the beds, but then there's a couple butts hanging out of the bed. They want to be in the bed so badly. Here. Look at the butts. There's faces, there's butts. They want to be in the bed so bad, but they can't fit, so they're hanging out. Oh, you lost a fish? Crap. I actually lost a fish too. I lost Phoenix, my one male betta. He was in the divided tank with Oscar. Phoenix passed away. He made it a lot longer than the other one, though. He was the one that got into a few fights. But he made it for I've had him for over a year, so that was really good. The other one that he fought with only made it a few months when I rescued him, but he's made it over a year with me after having a couple of really bad fights. I still never discovered what tail type he was because his fins were always tore up. But yeah, he's passed away now. So now I need to get another one put on the other side in that divided tank. Either that or just let him have the whole 5.5 to himself. Oscar. All right. Oh, that's so sad. Hey, mousy butt. Where'd the other mousy butt go? There's only one mousy butt. He wants to be in there. I think that's the dad. He wants to be in there so badly, but all he could fit is his face. You want to get a shark? Yeah, that is the male. All the females are in there. The male wants in. All he has to do is, all he can do is stick his head in the bed. Yeah, I'm gonna drop my phone. Will I stream? Oh, hold on. Will I stream on Saturday during in the morning? I will stream in the morning, but I got to work at 3 on Saturday, so it's gonna be um a morning stream. You had a bad morning. Yes, I know you got in trouble during the live yesterday because you were using your phone in class. I know you got in trouble. Gotta locate the dog sweaters. Yes, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. Don't dwell on the bad stuff, focus on the good stuff. Gotta focus on the good stuff. If you focus on the bad stuff, you're gonna be miserable. Because trust me, everybody has bad stuff to focus on. Everybody has bad stuff in their life that they can focus on and be miserable. You gotta focus on the good. Gotta focus on the good. It does take a lot of energy to be negative. Yeah, for some people, I guess being negative comes naturally, but it doesn't for me. I prefer being positive. Yeah, count your blessings, not your curses. Yep. Welcome back, Vanessa. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and take the divider out of the 5.5 and let Oscar have more swimming space because I'm not going to buy another betta at this point. We'll just let him have a bigger space. It's good they didn't take your phone. Around here, they would confiscate it. Yeah. They've got it in their heads that being negative and stomping on the little guy gets them somewhere, but eventually it's going to bite them in the butt. Eventually it'll bite them in the butt. Because, it does feel like, the nice guy finishes last, but in the end, when the chips are down, when the cards are down, the nice guy is the winner. It just may take a little longer to realize it. In the short run, maybe the nice guy finishes last. In the long run, they don't. Yep, karma. And when in regards to my devotions and stuff, when it all comes down to it, it's what God thinks of us. What God thinks of us, not what other people think of us. So we may finish last here on earth, but in God's eyes, we are the winners. You know, the meek will inherit the earth. Those who try to, uh, I'm trying to, it's not word for word. Those who lose their life will find it. Those who uh, hold on to it will lose it. Yep, everything works out in the end. Aw, I hate seeing animals suffer. Yeah, some people are angry. And it's because of their situations. They experience situations that it's how you handle the situation. Everybody goes through some rough stuff. Um, but it's how you handle it. Are you going to let that situation drag you down and make you a miserable person, or are you going to let that situation make you stronger? And you can use that situation to be a positive person and help somebody else in a similar situation, rather than you can make yourself miserable, and then you know you're hurting other people, but you're also hurting yourself. Trying to get into the cracker box. Yeah, some people don't want help. They like living in misery, and they want to make other people misery likes company. But yeah, and there are people that will blame everybody else other than themselves for a situation. Sometimes a situation is out of your control, but there are other things that, your decisions uh, create the situation. So you can make a bad decision, get yourself into a situation, and then rather than blaming yourself, you could have done something different. They blame everybody around them. Yeah, it's people that do things to put themselves in a negative situation, blame the world around them, and it's everybody else's fault, and they're a victim in life, and the world owes them something. That's the kind of thing I can't stand. But the world owes them something because they've been handed a bad deal, when you know sometimes it's their choices that got them there. All right, Barry, learn something. Don't get in trouble again. Aw, Daddy made it further into the bed. He's on the side of it. He's not hanging out anymore. Everybody looks so comfy, cozy. Everybody's eyes are closed. Yes, bury your head in them. But I gotta show you, there is a cat at the shelter. She is gorgeous. She's a year old. And I already told my mother, because she said, you probably shouldn't get another cat right now. And I was like, we weren't planning on it. But then I see this cat, and I know we're still probably not. Cats are about 50 bucks um, at the shelter, but she is gorgeous. She's a year old. Let me pull it up. And she's so cute. They have kittens too. They have other kittens. They've got some that are under a year old. They've got some that are only like 12 weeks old or 14 weeks old or whatever. But I really like this. I've always wanted a calico. I don't usually forget either, Vanessa. Um, I it's funny, I said something to my ex. I was like, because he's being accused of physical abuse right now with his other marriage. And I was like, he's talking to me about it. And I know that he's not physically abusive. So he thanked me for having his back and, whatever. And I was like, well, I know how much it sucks. I know how it feels to be accused of abuse. And he totally missed the fact that I was referring to when he stole custody from me, accusing me of being abusive to Ian. He thought I was talking about a different situation. And I was like, he totally missed that. He totally missed that I was referring to him suing me for custody, saying that I was abusive. Totally missed it. So, I've forgiven him, but I haven't forgotten. When I think back, it still hurts. Exactly, average girl. I love that demonstration. Yes. It's like paper. If you ball it up and lay it back out, it's not perfect. There's scars. There are going to be scars and you can't completely fix it. There are 23 cats at the shelter right now, and this is one that I want. She is gorgeous. Look at look at her. I want her so bad. She's a year old. She's a beautiful kitty. Beautiful kitty. She's spayed already. There's this little boy here. He's 5 months old. He's pretty cute too. Yeah, trying to get a good. He's 5 months old. But yeah, we're probably not getting another cat, but if we do, the shelter would be where we do it. But yeah, they actually have a couple of female ferrets at the shelter too, and they're cute. Definitely is cheaper to get them from the shelter than it is from the pet store. The pet store where I work, they're $200 for a ferret. Um, but at the shelter, I think they're between 25 and 50. Let me see. Can't remember if they're spayed or not. Let's see. And I've got a couple of elderly rats. If we had, they're males, unfortunately. So if we had the space, Ian said he would totally take them. They're already 2 years old, so they've got, maybe they can die any day or they can live another year. But they're elderly rats. He said if we had the space, he would totally want to take them, and I would too. I would too, because they shouldn't be living out their the last days or year of their life in the shelter. They've definitely got a lot of guinea pigs. So the ferrets are unaltered. They're one of them is a year old, one of them is 2 years old. So yeah, cutie patooties. I would take them in a heartbeat, but we don't have space for ferrets. Got a couple of hamsters. Got three hamsters. A couple of them are babies, 11 weeks old. Then there's an elderly hamster that's already two. I feel like getting him just so that he can live out his life not at the shelter. He's already two. He's not going to last a whole lot longer. But then they got two little baby hamsters that are 11 weeks. They look eerily very much like the hamster babies we had at work. Like exactly the same pattern. One of my daughters wants a cat. I said, nope, mama isn't cleaning out a litter box. Litter boxes are, yeah. If the girls kept up on the litter box, I'd say it's great for teaching them responsibility, but that's not going to last very long. Because I remember telling my parents if we got another dog soon after one of ours had to be put down, we were like, we'll clean up the poop in the backyard. We'll clean up after her. Yeah, that didn't last very long. We weren't very gung ho about it after a while. The novelty wears off. Yeah, what even if you don't smell the poop and the pee, you're gonna smell the litter itself. And even though the litter, it's not like bad stink, it's still a litter smell. Because I noticed that when I go and take care of somebody's cats, I go and I feed them and I've scooped out litters or whatever. I walk in and the litter is the first thing I smell. And it's not necessarily the poop and pee smell, it's still the litter I smell. But yeah, part of me wants to get that hamster just because he's already 2 years old. But yeah. Oh, I already have to clean the guinea pig cage. No cat box, I'll vomit. I don't like cleaning out the rabbit litter box. If I leave it too long, I will gag because rabbit pee is very potent. I have to definitely hold my breath when I dump that box. Yes, the ammonia just it's so strong. It burns your nose hairs and then it just stays in your passages. See, and I used fleece for the guinea pigs. I didn't use bedding. I used fleece. And I would scrape up and I would have like pee pads underneath so it would soak up the pee. Um and I would scrape up the poop with a cat litter scoop. And then after so long I would put a new fleece down and wash that other fleece is what I would do. Yeah, I hate seeing elderly animals in the shelter. It makes me sad. Yeah, that's why I like what I use the wood pellets. I use the wood pellets for the rabbit litter. I use the wood pellets for the rats and for the mice, and I get a 40-pound bag for about that price. Yeah, but that's not bad for the guinea pig too. Good morning, Birdie. How are you doing? Yep. Spot cleaning is the alternative to cleaning them out completely. We're having a drink of water, one of the mouses. Oh, so this morning is the actually court date for my ex, and he was gonna like he asked me if I would testify, but now they didn't need me because apparently it doesn't matter that I was married to him or whatever. It's been too long since I've been married to him, so apparently my testimony to say that he's not abusive in that way wouldn't be admissible because it's too much time has passed. And I was like, whatever, whatever. Yeah, average girl has a snake. Her snake is the least messy out of all her pets. My dogs are like that too, Birdie. They don't like being wet. I don't know. I don't know if I have any suggestions for you. Now, Brinley doesn't care for walking in puddles, but she will be out. She does go out in the rain. Bella, on the other hand, is different. She won't. So we do just allow her to use a pee pad in the house because she's small enough. I would never do that with Brinley, but Bella is small enough that we do pee pads with her. We do puppy pads. But when we're at somebody's house or whatever, we totally will take her outside. She doesn't like getting her feet wet. When we were at my parents, I would have to like take her out into the grass and put her down in it so that, you know, she wouldn't willingly go out into the grass on her own. She wants a steak because she knows it. See, and I asked Ian, I was like, "Will your aunt and uncle allow you to bring your rats?" Because since he's staying there, I'm like, maybe you can bring your rats there, so you can actually be around them and take care of them and everything. He can't bring them there because they've got one of those sonic things that drive away the rodents or kill them or whatever with their noise. So, yeah, he can't bring his rats over there because they would go insane. Yep. You could teach the dog to go to the sit on the toilet. Hey, Patrol Gaming, how are you doing? Hey, J Dub, how are you this morning? I'm out of coffee now. You wouldn't be able to go to sleep with a snake in the house? How about mice? Mice and rats. One of them's having a drink. I'm not too bad. Had a rough couple of days, but not doing too bad. Had a pet loss on Tuesday. Leave the wild spiders alone. Yeah, you can definitely teach cats to use the toilet. You just kind of put like a training litter on the seat and they'll go there, and then as they get used to going there, you just take away that training litter and they'll still go there. It's kind of neat. You have to teach them how to flush though. One of my cats passed away, Birdie. Very unexpected, and she wasn't old. She was 5 years old. So had to deal with that. We buried her yesterday. Yeah, my sweet Oreo girl passed away. And it was like totally weird. Like she was fine on the weekend. She was fine. And like Ian, I texted Ian to tell him, and he was like, What happened? She was fine when I saw her last, which he was here on the weekend. And I'm like, I know. Cat, meow. One of my cats. Yeah, she was fine. And then she went from fine to not fine. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I noticed Tuesday earlier in the day that she was meowing. She was doing a lot of meowing that's out of character. Um, laying around, but that wasn't new. She was always a lazy cat. Um, but just doing a lot of loud meowing. And then around dinner time, we noticed that her gums were white. Like her gums, she was pale. So we thought she's either hypoglycemic or she's anemic or something to make her pale. Um, and she just was seeming lethargic. She sat with me a lot. I was pushing fluids because I noticed she was dehydrated. Um, so I was pushing fluids. She would lick at some of the wet cat food I offered her, but she wouldn't eat. And she died in the middle of the night. I don't know what happened. So, aw, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was wrong. And yeah, I've never had my other two cats died when they were 14 and we put them down, but I've never had a cat die at home on their own. And that just, I got up in the middle of the night. I put her in the chair because she was just laying around. I put her in the chair and we went to bed because I had to work the next day. So I didn't, I wanted to stay up all night with her, but my husband was like, "Well, you need to get some sleep." So, but I got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom and I went to check on her and she was still in the chair, but she had passed away. So, she was an indoor cat. I don't let my cats out. They were indoor. My other cat is right here. She's indoor as well. They don't go outside. And she could have had a much shorter life because she was abandoned as a kitten. Whoever owned her owned the parent, owned the mother. The mother had a litter of kittens, and they took the kittens from the mother and abandoned the kittens in a box when they were just babies. So, like babies, like 2 weeks old. I didn't hear anything. Like, she was just doing a lot of meowing during the day, which was uncharacteristic of her. She was a very quiet cat, but she would get up. She acted like she was uncomfortable. Like, she would get up and meow, and then she'd lay down in a different spot. And she'd get up again and meow and lay down in a different spot. Like, it was like she hurt. But I didn't know what to do, and we couldn't afford an emergency vet. So, but I think as far since she died that night, I think we wouldn't have been able to save her even if we brought her to the emergency vet. Emergency vets around here, like, it's $200 when you walk in the door, let alone the treatment after. But yeah, and that's what got me yesterday when we buried her, was when I wrapped her in the blanket that I crocheted. Her face, just seeing her face. Ugh. Aw. My Sophie, who died last year, she would chirp. She didn't really meow. She would kind of do this mournful meow right before she would throw up. But other than that, when she'd meow, she'd kind of chirp and her whiskers would wiggle. This is Oreo. Ah, yeah, that's my Oreo that just passed away. This was her when we rescued her. She was just a little tiny squirt. She was 5 weeks old when we brought her home. There's Ian with her. Yeah, she's gonna be missed for sure. This was right before she died. Ah, yeah, that was right before she died. Yeah, only 5 years old. This is my shadow, and she's a year older. She's 6. Hopefully we almost lost her once though. Her liver was acting up, but we were able to save her. We took her to the vet, and because we had money at the time. She had blood work done, and they figured out that her liver was not working properly, so she was on meds to, get her liver to work properly. She was jaundiced and lost a lot of weight and, lethargic and everything, but on the medication she bounced back, and now she's nice and beefy. And she was a pretty kitty. Yep, I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss her. So yeah, when I had to go to work the other day, I went out to the garage, and that's where my husband brought her. She was wrapped up, and I just saw her laying there, and I was like, and then of course when I took her out of that towel and wrapped her in the blanket I crocheted, and I saw her face, I was blubbering all over again, and yeah, it's tough. Yeah. I mean, my other 2 cats only lived until they were 14, whereas my sister's cats were like 16, 17, something like that. But she also did have one that she had to put down at a year old because she had leukemia. Yep. Because, yeah, my pets are my kids. My pets are my kids. It doesn't matter if they're dogs, cats, rats, rabbits. My dogs. My pets are my kids, and they rely on us to take care of them. And you always feel like you could have done something different. I heard that, Bella. She's at the top of the stairs and she burped. I heard you burp. Bella, Bella, hello. I heard you burp. We will see them again. Even sometimes I feel the ones that have died near me. I swear, like my border collie. Sometimes I feel like she is near. Yeah, I feel like they're like little guardian angels. And some people will say, well, animals don't have souls, so they don't live on. Once they're dead, and they don't move on anywhere. I don't know. When I was a kid, I was like, they went to doggy heaven or they went to, whatever. And I actually had a Sunday school teacher tell me they don't have souls, so they're not anywhere. They're just don't exist anymore. And I was like, why would you tell a kid that? Like now that I'm older, I'm like, why would you tell a kid that? Take away their hope, take away their comfort. Oh, thank you, Birdie. Oreo's favorite thing to do was to be picked up. She wouldn't let me do it. It was with my husband. He would pick her up and she would lay on her back like a baby and he would just rub her belly and she would just stay there forever, being held like a baby, having her belly rubbed by my husband. She wouldn't let me do it. She wouldn't let me do it. She wouldn't do it with me. She would do it with him. That was her favorite thing. When he was in the kitchen, she'd jump up on the kitchen table and meow at him and paw at him until he'd pick her up and lay her down like a baby and rub her belly. That was her favorite thing. Aw. Oh, the babies are awake. Oh, she just crawled back into the bed. The baby mices are awake. Yeah, I'm glad she didn't end up hit by a car or anything like that. When she was 5 weeks old, the reason why we even took her in was because the Amish lady that rescued the kittens when they were 2 weeks old, she bottle fed them until they were weaned. But Amish don't have, they'll have dogs as indoor pets. She had a Chihuahua or something. But they don't have cats as indoor pets. They use them as barn cats. And so the kittens were outside and being as young as they were not used to they did not know they had to avoid the horses. And so all of Oreo's siblings got trampled, killed by the horses. And that at that point, since Oreo was the last one, The lady was like, "I need somebody to take her. Somebody needs to take her so she doesn't end up like her siblings." And so we brought her home. Popeye's favorite human is John Tonio. She doesn't like anyone else. Shadow, wherever she went, likes everybody, and she loves this morning. Oh, she's right here. This morning, I leaned down just for a minute, and she jumped on my back. She likes to sit on shoulders like she's a parrot. She jumped on my back, and I was like permanently bent over because I can't just stand up. She'll claw me to not fall off. Yeah, we had uh, when I lived in this town that Ian's in right now. We had a lot of feral cats around, and a lot of strays. Some of them weren't feral necessarily, but a lot of them were. I got a live trap from the shelter and I set it out, and I caught over time I caught 5 cats. 2 of them were adoptable. I had brought them to the shelter. They were still friendly, so they got adopted out, whereas the other ones got put to sleep, which made me sad, but they're not adoptable. I don't think they were at that time doing the community cat thing where they would fix them and send them back out. They were put to sleep. But it was more humane way to die than, disease or hit by car or, something like that. But now they do have the community cat thing where they'll tip the cat's ear so that's a community cat. They're fixed so they can't repopulate and that kind of thing. But I think way back then when I was catching those, Ian was just very young. Um, they weren't doing that. Aw. I just went to the animal shelter. I went to the local animal shelter and I asked if they had a live trap, and you sign a paper so they know you have one, and then when you're done with it, you bring it back. If you don't bring it back, I'm sure they're going to contact you because they've got your contact information knowing that you took a trap. But I would bring it home and bring it back in with the cat that I caught. Now, there were a couple of times I caught a raccoon, and I'd have to release the raccoon without getting bit. But yeah, it was the local animal shelter. I just went right in, went to the counter, and asked if they had a lot, if it was possible to get a live trap because I had some stray cats around on my property. And you can always tell when they're feral or not. If they're feral, like I went out the back door and they were just freaking out, like totally freaking out when they saw me. And the 2 that were adoptable, they just sat there and looked at me. You could put your hand up to the cage and they would sniff you. Whereas the feral ones would totally freak out. Um, Once you catch them, if it's feral and like totally freaking out, I don't know. You'd have to find out if they have the catch and release program where they're neutered first, or neutered or spayed. Find out about that. I don't think they had that back then when I was doing it, but I'm pretty sure they have that around now where they're, catch and release after they're fixed. And I worried when they were freaking out in the trap, I worried that they were gonna hurt themselves because they were bouncing off the sides and totally, like, totally scared. Yeah, their eyes get huge. Yep. Now the raccoons would just lay there and eyeball me because they were so tired. You could see a divot in my grass because they were digging trying to get out, but they couldn't get out of the trap. But there was like a divot in my yard because they were trying to get out so bad. Um, but by the time I would get up in the morning, they were so exhausted, they would just lay there and stare at me. And then you just have to, the door opens in, which was always my worry because I was like, the door opens in, I got to put my hand in there, but they're too worried about wanting to get out. So once you open it, they just run off. I was always concerned I'd catch a skunk because then what do you do? That's awesome.
Wakey, wakey, it's a bakey. You guys are lazy. Lazy mouses.
You always wanted a pet skunk. They are cute. They've got cute faces, but their back ends aren't so cute. Stick a cork in it. Yes, descented.
Are you looking at the mouses? Are you watching the mouses? Hmm? Are you watching the mouses?
I would be using long ass. See, we used a stick, I guess, but then they were like they didn't want to come out at first, and we're like tipping the cage, and they're like clinging to it. We're like, it's not coming out. Eventually, they did, and one of them just ran off. One of them went up a tree. I was concerned about them releasing them in the middle of the day because they came out at night. When the town was dead, and you know didn't have to worry about being hit by a car or anything, and here I am releasing the raccoons in the middle of the day. I worried that they were going to get hurt, but I also want an anteater. Yeah, if you want to do a weasel, do a ferret. I've got a couple ferrets at our animal shelter right now, a couple of female ferrets. They kind of are smelly too because they've got scent glands. My favorite ferret is at work still. I would love to have her, but at work they're $200. At the shelter they're 25. The possum lady, I haven't. Yeah, I had never handled a ferret before in my life until I started working at the pet store. And then a few weeks ago, I had to bathe a few because they came and shipped to us and they were filthy. And that's how I fell in love with the one that I love at work, and we still have her. So I was like, oh, I want her. And it was funny after I gave them their bath, hold them and they dangle because they've got these long bodies. They look like little wet dish rags. It was it was hilarious. They're fuzzy slinkies, yeah. They were dangling. I gave her a bath and she was just dangling there like a wet wash rag. It was hilarious. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to work at an animal shelter. I'd want to take everything home. Especially I like the The elderly, like, I love babies, I love the puppies and the kittens, but, what breaks my heart the most is the elderly that are there or the ones that have, like, some sort of a problem. Like, I remember a cat that I wanted at the animal shelter years ago. He had a neurological disorder, so his back legs didn't work properly. He was deaf. Because his back legs didn't work properly, he couldn't run. He didn't couldn't jump very high, so he was ideal for not jumping on counters. Um, but at the time I had my dog and she liked to chase cats, so I didn't as much as I wanted him, I didn't get him because I didn't think it would be fair for he wouldn't hear her coming. He wouldn't hear her coming and he wouldn't be able to run away from her. So I was like, I can't do that to him, but I wanted him so, so bad. Oh, wet dish rag is a perfect description. Yes, we'll all pool our money. I won't have much to put in the pool, but buy a rescue ranch. Yeah. Welcome back, Barry. Why were you getting a panic attack? Yeah, I wanted that cat so bad. He was black. They'd found him in this big old hole. I wanted him so bad, but I couldn't do that to him with my dog. I was like, that's not fair. He'd get tackled and he wouldn't stand a chance to run away. I have no money, but I can bring sandwiches. Yep. Oh, one of the little baby girls got out of the bed. She's walking around. Ah, you're so stinking cute. Oh, some of the mouses are getting up. Oh, the little baby girl walking around. It's so cute. So cute. You wouldn't be able to see her though. Oh, she's in the food dish. Yay. She's gonna nibble on some solid foods. I should put them in the cage and let them run around. You're subscribing to the possum lady? I'm gonna have to look her up. Got her. Got her. Possums have cute faces too. Now their teeth scare me, but they've got cute faces too. I remember seeing a news article one year about kids that it was a female possum and just to be, little shitheads, they actually set her on fire. They set her on fire and I wanted to jump through the computer and beat them to a pulp. Like, I may not be like all wanting to cuddle a possum or anything like that, but I can't even imagine the pain she was in. And yeah, I don't stand for anything like that. I'm sorry that someone hurt your feelings, Barry. Don't let what people say to you get to you. There's always going to be people out there that are being jerks. Yeah, I don't know. And then I saw some video news article thing where somebody was throwing newborn puppies in the creek, and obviously killing them because they can't swim. And I'm like, oh, I wanted to jump in there and rescue every puppy that she threw in there. I it was like it made my stomach turn. Watch these poor defenseless puppies being pulled out of a bag and thrown in the creek. Yeah, every now and then we get a possum that comes into our front, like in our bushes up front. We avoid it, but we don't do anything to harm it or anything. It's just doing its own thing. You saw that one with the puppies? Oh, people just, and then some grown woman in her car, like, literally ran over her dogs, her grown dogs. She just ran them over. She ran them over and then backed up and ran them over again. And I just wanted, oh, oh, people just, I don't understand how you can do that. How? And one of the dogs didn't make it. One of them did, but she totally ran them over, like they under the wheels. Ugh. And even right now, it's making my stomach turn thinking about it because I can't even, like, why? Why would you do that? And there are literally some people out there that think that animals don't feel pain and don't have feelings. There has been, I can't remember what country it is, where they actually believe that. They actually believe there's an organization that believes that animals do not have feelings and they do not feel pain. Have you never heard an animal cry out? Like, oh, yeah, I can't. Morbid curiosity has me watch, but then I just can't. It makes me sick. I want to be aware, but yeah, it just ugh. Yep. You never know if you advertise for free. If they can't afford a rehoming fee, then they shouldn't have the animal anyway. The animal should never really be free. Hey, wandering haggis, how are you doing? Animals are more pure than us, and they do have feelings. And I've seen animals can get depressed. Animals can die of a broken heart. That they have feelings. They feel pain. They're just better at hiding it. I don't have a troll. I know who Wandering Haggis is. Tomorrow morning. I will be on again tomorrow morning. I think I had a couple of trolls earlier, but they didn't say much. I'll try to be, Barry. It depends on when you do it because I'll have to leave here at 3:30. Yeah, you got to share your live stream link because no one else is going to know you're doing it. And you're going to want more than just me. I keep looking at my mice. They're so cute. I need to put them in the cage so they can have some playtime. They like that wheel. They like the wheel. They like running on the wheel and climbing the bars of the cage. But they don't get that in the bin. They have more floor space in the bin, but they don't have as much to do in the bin. You don't have to worry, Barry, and you will see how many people are in there. You won't. You didn't talk last time anyway, and it was only me, and you didn't talk. Yeah, I'll send Average Girl the link. You'll be fine, Barry. You will be fine. You will be fine. The only way you're gonna get used to doing lives is if you put yourself out there and, you know, have more than just me watching. You'll get used to it, even if you're nervous to start. I was nervous when I started, but it gets easier. Even if you get nervous, you can talk. Nobody's gonna shoot you dead. The worst that can happen is people say hi, or they don't say anything at all. I'm gonna have to refill this water bottle. What time is your library? I will come if I can. I finally got my computer set up with a brand new webcam and I'm thinking of doing live, but I'll probably do an evening. That's cool. Yeah, you're going to want some supporters, Barry. You don't want trolls, you want supporters. I don't know if there is a way to get rid of depression. It is a chemical imbalance in the brain. I'm on medication and I still deal with it, but it's not as bad when I have medication. But I'm on medication. You can always go after me. I don't have to do mine completely like several hours. I can keep mine short and you can go after or it's okay, Barry. It was your first time. Yeah, depression and anxiety both, they suck. And a lot of the time, if you have anxiety, you also have depression. A lot of the time, they go hand in hand, and I have both. Yeah, sometimes a good distraction can help. Can you hear the clicking? I don't know if you can. One of the mice is drinking out of the water bottle. Yeah, see, I felt worse without the meds. I would have, you know, I would feel a lot worse. I felt a lot worse without the medication. So, um, I don't really. Sometimes I'll have trouble sleeping, but it definitely helps me otherwise. And I think it's just you just got to find the right medication. Yes, War Room is an awesome movie. Yeah, I love that movie. That is a really good movie. I can't remember what my brand name med is. I've got the off brand of it, the generic brand, because it's cheaper. Because usually if you get the official name brand, they're more expensive. And at one point they tried to put me on one that did not have a generic brand and it was like $50 a month. And I was like, nope, switch me to something else. It was Vybrid. They don't have a generic brand. Um, and you also had to eat it, or you also had to take it on a, you couldn't take it on an empty stomach. Whereas this one, the one that I'm on, um, you can take it whenever. You're not going to mess up. It's your live stream. You're not going to mess up. I don't know how you think you'll mess up. I'm going to play some World of Warcraft while I listen to you all they came out with new. Ooh, it feels lovely. I bet it does. I see. Temperature here right now is 67 with a light rain. Yippee. Even if you mess up your words, don't even worry about it. I stumble on my, don't you, even now. You've seen me going blah, blah, blah because I can't talk. No worries. No worries at all. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Exactly, Birdie. Kill monsters and pretend they're animal abusers. Yep. Or child abusers. Or elderly abusers. Abusers in general. The best thing that I can do at work is if we're selling an animal and we get a box out, grab a pair of scissors and we go pop pop to pop the holes in the box. You can let out a lot of aggression. It's like bam 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 bam. Pop those holes into the box so they can breathe. That is the best release of anger. Because some of the salespeople will come and they'll grab and they'll be like, "Do it." I'm like, "Tell me how you really feel," because they're like, Sims is the best because I have a whole family of fake people to terrorize. Oh man.
My fishies. My happy fishies.
Yeah, I gotta put you lazy mice in the cage. Yeah, put you lazy mice in the cage. Yep, exactly, Birdie. Exactly. Yes, it is satisfying to just pop those holes in the box. Oh, I forgot. I don't have coffee. There's a water bottle here. Yes, bubble wrap. Mm, exactly. Exactly. Well, yesterday, my husband goes, "Okay, there's a little bit of a chocolate chip cookie like thing from Pizza Hut. We still had some chocolate chip cookie." He was like, "Do you want chocolate chip cookie?" He's like, "There's not enough for both of us. So do you want the cookie or do you want ice cream?" And I was like, "I'll take what you're not taking." And he was like, "You don't like making decisions, do you?" And I was like, "You've been married to me for 10 years. You don't know this already? I don't like making decisions." I was like, my anxiety takes over, especially because, if I decide that I want the cookie, maybe you wanted the cookie and I'm taking it from you. So that's why I was like, I'll take what you're not taking. So you choose and then I'll have the other. And he was like, make a decision. And I'm like, I just don't want to pick what you wanted. My anxiety takes over. I don't like making decisions. Oh no, you're out of coffee. Oh, we don't worry about spelling in here, Haggis. Hey, Eric. 48 degrees, nice. It's 67 here, but we got rain. Excuse me. Ooh, average girl is procrastinating. It could snow. Yep, there are some places that I could see in my weather app that it's talking about snowstorms. I'm like, people please, yeah, people pleaser. And if he says, "Where do you want to go to eat?" I'm like, "I don't know. Where do you want to go to eat?" I don't want to pick something that he maybe doesn't want to do. So at that rate, we have to put down a bunch of restaurants that we're willing to go to on a piece of paper and draw it out of a hat. Yep. Ouch. His coworkers want to take us out for dinner, so the wedding ceremony for the wedding ceremony thing, he didn't know how to tell them no. We have loads of coffee. We've got I was running out of coffee when my husband was out of town and he goes, we had some more in the cabinet. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh geez, Birdie. Such lazy mice. I need to get them in the cage. John, Tony, and I will legit fight over what do you want to eat. I don't want to decide every time. Just pick something. Yeah, see, and I would be, if you told me just pick something, I wouldn't be able to because I'd worry I'd pick something that you didn't necessarily want. So that's where I struggle. I have a hard time saying no. I do have a hard time saying no. I don't know. Especially when at church, I've been asked before to teach a class, and what do I do? Okay. And then every week I'm like, because I got to work out the lesson, and I'm like, why did I say I would do this? Because I didn't have the heart to say no. Because what good reason would I have to say no to something like that? Because it was teaching a class for kids. What good reason do I have other than I just don't want to? And then what kind of person am I? You know? It reminds me there is an episode of the Andy Griffith Show where they're gonna go on a group date and they're like, where are we gonna go to eat? And Barney's like, I'm open. I don't care where we go. And they're like, well, let's go here. And he's like, really? I don't know. And they're like, well, let's go here. Well, where do you want to go, Barney? I don't care where we go. I'm an open book. And everything they suggested, but I don't care where we go. That's what it reminds me of. I've got a million excuses always at the ready. Yeah, it is different nowadays. You got to really watch with kids. In fact, churches around here now, they will do a background check on you before you're allowed to work with the kids. I definitely think, yeah, because when I had a nursery age child, I would help out in the nursery. After that, I'm like, parents should be rotating. And I did teach children, like the children. I did like preschool. I taught preschool. I've taught third and fourth grade. I didn't mind it. The worst part was preparing the lessons. I didn't want to take the time to prepare the lessons. And then I wasn't necessarily being able to be in classes myself and learn something on my level because I was always in with the children. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because you think I've done my part, let someone else. But at the same time, I feel this pull, like I feel like I have to. And then I feel bad if I say no. And then if I say yes, then I'm like, why couldn't I say no? I'm always doing this and, whatever. So it's my anxiety talking, of course. I don't like being scheduled to do something. I like doing things on a whim, and I don't like being scheduled to do something because then it comes up, and if I'm just not feeling it, you got to do it anyway. And I'm a spur of the moment planner. Like, I feel like doing this today. Let's do this. But if I schedule it, then when it comes around, I'm not going to want to do it. I love it when my dogs look over at me when I'm done eating. When I eat a bowl of cereal, if I empty the cereal bowl and there's just milk in there, the cat comes by because she wants to drink it. She's like, oh, she ate the last of the cereal. It's time for me, time for me. Yeah, is there something else I can help with? I remember for a while I was in charge of putting sayings out on the sign in front of the church. And I did it for a good while. And then I was just not feeling it anymore. What's out here? Oh, it's a school bus. I was just not feeling it anymore and I didn't really want to do it anymore. And then I'm like, how do I go to the pastor and just say, can you find somebody else to do the sign? I don't want to do it anymore. Especially when I would have to do it in the middle of winter and it was so cold, or do it in the when it was really hot in the summer. Have to be out there putting the sign out one letter at a time, make sure the spaces are right. But and I always had to have my sayings approved by the pastor before I could put them up, but he always approved everything I put up. And then I'd be like putting out these messages and people would see them when they'd come to church in the morning. And Oh, my dogs, when you go in the kitchen and you pull out a bag of shredded cheese, they're there because my husband spoils them. When he boils eggs, when there's anything to do with the shredded cheese, they're there because he'll feed them and they get boiled eggs, they get shredded cheese. Then when I'm in there doing something with eggs or cheese, they're in there and I'm like, "I'm not dad. I'm not going to give it to you just because I'm handling this and you're in here looking at me." Daddy spoiled them. They know what cheese and eggs mean. They get some. Yes, don't get in trouble, Barry.
Cutie patooties.
You got every mouse is sleeping. I seriously need to move them. I need to move them into the cage so they can get some exercise because they're all being lazy. You can get in trouble just by being on your phone. You're on your phone in class. If it's the Wi-Fi, that's probably why you're buffering. I'm not buffering. I give the dogs the bacon grease if I've got some left over after cooking dinner. Buck has started drooling when he smells bacon cook. Brinley will drool on me too. Even if I'm just eating dinner, she'll stare at me and she'll have her head resting on my leg, and my leg gets wet because she drools all over me. She, and if she's not resting her head, she will literally drip. That's the only time she drools is when she wants the food really bad. You've created monsters. I know you like chili dogs. So Ian's already talking to me about spring when prom comes around, Courtney's prom, because he's not going to have a prom, but Courtney's prom. He needs to take Courtney to the prom, and he's talking about it. And obviously, he has to go there for it, but he's already talking about the prom, and I'm like, oh, my baby. Bubbles. Yeah, she doesn't really make bubbles. She just drips. She will drip. Good. I'm glad you feel better, Barry. My dogs always get my scraps when I'm finished eating. Yeah, I don't really do that. I don't give them a lot of scraps, but certain things that I know are healthy for them. Welcome back, Birdie. We're talking about dogs and how they beg for food and stuff. And if I'm having cereal, Shadow will come over onto the table and like steal my cereal out of my bowl. And if I empty it of cereal and there's still milk in it, um, she will totally like, if I don't guard it, she will totally drink the milk. Average Girl is always welcome to be on my panel. Making Hawaiian barbecue boneless chicken. Ooh, yum. You have an assembly today? I need to eat something. I'm starting to not feel great. I can tell that I need to eat something. My stomach's starting to feel sour. You have a dog right now begging for your green beans. Average Girl is a good influence on me. I'm getting tougher. Yep, it's raining here too. It's a gray day. Gray day. It's the back of 5 p.m. here in Scotland. So your Friday is almost over. Baked potato. I love baked potato. Smothered in cheese and sour cream and bacon bits. Yum, yum, yum. Yep, comfort food. I think I might make myself some nachos. We've got some Doritos, like not Doritos, we've got tortilla chips in the cabinet, and I think I'll sprinkle some cheese on it and yum. Have some nachos for my meal today. Yep, I'm a cheese lover too. We put lots of cheese on mac and cheese and nachos. You can't skimp on the cheese. I hate when I go to a restaurant and they skimp on the cheese. I'm like, can I get more of this, please? And when we go to like the restaurant where they'll like spin the thingy to put the shredded cheese on your salad or whatever, they're like, "Tell me when," and they're going. We're like, "Keep going, keep going." They get a workout. We're like, "Okay, when?" I love anything they say is bad for me. Yep. Ah. Yeah, just shred the whole block. Just leave the whole spinner here. We'll do it. Yes, and fresh baked bread. Oh, the rolls at restaurants, the fresh rolls that are still warm. Oh my goodness. I don't even put butter on it. I'm just like ripping pieces off and eating it as it is. Yep, you never know. Someone comes in the middle of a sentence and takes the whole thing out of context. Yeah, you get a workout with your cheese, definitely. You gotta keep doing that. You gotta switch hands, and I can't do it as well with this hand though. Your sharp wit and intelligence shines through. Aw, average girl, sharp wit. Yeah, filling up, or when you go to a Mexican place and they give you chips. Some places will give you peanuts, some places will give you chips, and I will totally mix ranch dressing with salsa. It is so good. Ranch dressing mixed in with salsa, and then you dip your tortillas. I will fill up on that. If you've never mixed ranch with salsa, you got to try it. I didn't think I would like it, but it's actually really good. I've also mixed ranch in with the refried beans, and that's good too. Oh, very. Everyone has good perks. I don't know what mine are, but aw, your sense of humor is your good perk. I don't know what mine are. Oh, that's cool. I would love to see that birdie. Ooh, cantaloupe with hot sauce. Cantaloupe I like, but I don't know with hot sauce. And I'm smart some days too. Yes, definitely. When you do, drop a link for sure. Man, I gotta get these mice into the cage. I keep talking about it, but I gotta get them into the cage because they're lazy. They're doing what I want to do. I want to go back to bed. Mm. I already got my craft table to film the prep on, and healthy can taste great. It's all about yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. Yep, it's much easier to see flaws. One of my rats is making a noise. Give me a second. All right, everything's good. She's just making noises. They do want to eat though, because I stood over there and they're all coming out of the thing they want to eat. No, they actually weren't fighting. She was just poking her head out and making noises. I spend 95% of my day in bed. Good, I'm glad to hear it, Barry. Yeah, I like vinaigrettes. The balsamic vinaigrette is good. I never used to like vinaigrette. I used to be a Catalina. Now I like ranch, but I also like the vinaigrettes. My shadow. My shadow. Hey, Lewis, how are you doing today? Oh, balsamic drizzle on the crust. Never would have thought of that. Hey, Shadow, everybody's hi. Really? You say hi? Say hi, everybody. Hi, Shadow. Oh, here she comes. Stretch and claw me in the leg. I don't know, Barry. We'll have to pick a day that I can do it. I'm free Halloween. I'm free on Halloween. No one will be here but me and my pets. Me and my pets. No, I was breathing through the pain of claws in my leg.
Yep, because you were putting your claws in my leg.
Fish are acting like they're hungry, and I already fed them this morning. My hair is doing weird things. My fish, those goldfish have grown. They're not as small as they were before. They're still small, but they got a lot of growth to go, but they have grown since I got them a little bit.
You're getting bigger.
I love how they follow each other around. Oh my goodness, yeah. I've had Brinley tearing around the house and then she jumped up on the couch and didn't stop and she smacked her head into my forehead and I ended up with a bruise. Can I ask you some questions? Like what? Like what? You can ask me anything. Don't mean I'm going to answer it, but it depends on what it is. What do you think I can do to make my lives better? Well, for one, allow more people in. Two, speak. And a little bit longer than just a few minutes. But it's going to take time. Then the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get. Let's talk about pets and trick or treat. How many dress their pets up? Do you take them with you? Are they traumatized by people coming into the door? Now, I don't dress up my pets. I have taken them trick or treating when I've taken the kids out, but we don't go out anymore. We'll give out candy, but we have to lock up Brinley because she'll just get in the way of trying to give out candy. Bella barks, but doesn't care otherwise. Yes, and definitely believe in yourself. Have confidence in yourself. Well, you're not getting that information. It says we got 7 people in here.
Are you having a bath?
She's having a bath. can hear birds singing outside. They're not taking cover from the rain. How do I stream on two things? What do you mean? I don't even know what program you're using to do your live because you're doing it mobile and I don't know how you're doing it. I just use StreamYard on my laptop. And what do you mean by on two things? I knew you were one of them, average girl. And Foe is still here. I bet you he's getting big though, Birdie. He's getting big. I have a favorite. I love all the dogs at work. I love our Frenchie, and then we have a Beagle Cavalier that I absolutely adore. She's so sweet. I want her really bad. Probably not a great idea to have her or like a beagle type dog because they are hunters and I've got rodents. But she is the cutest little thing. I love her to death. When I went to work on Wednesday, since I was so upset after Oreo died, I had to snuggle her, but I had to wait because she was sleeping and I didn't want to wake her up. Like, she's finally awake. I had to snuggle her. And of course, I love our Frenchie, our little white Frenchie, and he's got one ear that sticks up and one ear that flops over, and he's adorable. He's going to need a little bit of a surgery because he's got an elongated trachea, which causes him to cough, and he can end up choking on food, and he's going to need a little bit of a surgery to correct it, which he'll get before. I mean, if he sells first, I think that's going to be part of. I don't know, but I think the corporate's supposed to be scheduling him a surgery. I use StreamYard and I just join my own panel on my phone to have two different cameras. You have to host StreamYard on a laptop or a computer, and then you can join your own panel with the link on a mobile device or another computer. So yeah, when I show you the mice, I just join my own panel with my phone. I don't know if I still have. Let me see. I want to show you the little Beagle Cavalier. She is the cutest little squirt. She's so tiny. She's still got puppy breath. I love when they have puppy breath. Let's see. Here she is. I love her. She was drying from a bath, but I love her, love her, love her. Look at her face. I want her so bad. She is the cutest little squirt ever. I love her to death. Oh, oh my gosh. I love that baby. Oh, there's a global prayer room, 24/7 live. Oh, hmm. It would be cool to see the mice on a 24-hour live. I can definitely do, because I used to do silent streams of rabbit cam or rat cam or fish cam. I can definitely do it with the mice. It's a little bit tougher because if I have to open the top of the cage, and I don't want anyone to escape, so I have to do it when I'm around. Show her again. Okay, hang on. Show her again. Let me. I gotta find it. There she is. I love her so much. She is such a sweetheart. We got her a week ago. We've had her for a week, and I love her to death. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she is a doll baby. I wish she's $2,000, you guys. I don't have $2,000. I can't afford her. I can't afford her. I kiss on her all the time, though. When I'm at work, I have to snuggle her. Ugh, I also would love the Frenchie. The Frenchie is adorable, but he's $5,000, and ugh. I'm still working on my diamond painting. I'll have to one morning I'll work on my diamond painting during the stream. Yeah, well, with pet stores, they have to mark them up for profit. They buy from the breeder and then they mark it up because they need to make a profit plus all of the care that is put into them while we have them. So, yep, she is $2,000. Pet stores are expensive. We do have people that come in and complain about it, and I'm like, well, don't walk into a pet store. Go to the shelter or go directly to a breeder or do, people who are rehoming their pets. Don't come into a pet store. They're going to be expensive. And they're going to be expensive so long as people pay it, and people do. People pay it. I wouldn't pay. I would get her for cheaper than 2,000 as an employee, but um, even still, I think I don't know. I would get her cheaper as an employee, but I don't think it would include anything after that. But I do believe that a customer does get a vet visit within the first so many days, and then there is a guarantee, a 7-day guarantee, and whatever, and stuff like that. And you can get a warranty if you buy the recommended food and stuff like that. But they're also taken care of. They get seen by a vet while we have them too, to make sure that they're healthy and they get treated for any illnesses that they have. Yeah, see, and this little beagle is a mixed breed as well. She's not full-blooded beagle. She is a beagle cavalier. We have a lot of mixed breeds, and that's what I don't necessarily agree with, them being so freaking expensive when they're a mixed breed. But, again, the pet store is buying them from whoever's breeding them, paying that price, and then they have to take care of the dogs while we have them, vet them while we have them, um, and make a profit. So, and the longer we have them, their prices do drop. So the store ends up losing money the longer we have the puppies because their prices drop. Set up a GoFundMe, a GoFundMe so I can have a puppy. Yeah. And the more expensive they are, not just anybody can have them. Exactly. And a lot of people, when they're that expensive, they have to finance them, and not everybody gets approved for financing. Yep. Designer dogs. Yep. Your big sister is coming. Buster is a jack puggle. He's a juggle. Yeah, we have a boggle. Um, we've got we've got a Jack Russell who's really cute. He doesn't have a black and brown and white face. His head is completely like a light brown. He is the cutest little thing. And then we've got a puggle. Um, we've got a Chiweenie. We've got the um the Beagle Cavalier. There's no special name for her. She's just a Beagle Cavalier. Whereas the Boggle is a Boston Terrier Beagle mix. You would give me cash on a GoFundMe? I have a PayPal. I have a PayPal. I don't need a GoFundMe. I just have a PayPal. But what I want to do is get another cage for the mice. I need another cage for the mice like the cage I have so I can attach them together and they can have um, two floor spaces and two wheels so that they don't, because there's 10 of them. And if more than one wants to use the wheel at the same time, they got to take turns because they don't know how to cooperate and run at the same time. But I want to get another one of those cages so I can attach it, add tunnels to it so that they can have some fun when they're not in the bin. Like I like to take them out of the bin and let them have playtime in the cage. But I need another cage and I need money for that. I would send you Jolly Ranchers. We used to call designer dogs fence jumpers. We did have a golden doodle that did not look like a golden doodle, and we had customers coming in. That's not a golden doodle. Why are you advertising it as a golden doodle? Because it is, and they're not understanding the generations. Um, it's a it'll look like a golden doodle when it's a golden retriever and a poodle. But if you've got golden doodles having golden doodles, you don't know down where the line what it's inheriting. It's not necessarily getting the way mom looks or the way dad looks. It can get someone down the line, and she just looked different. She did not look, she was unique. She was very sweet. Um, she just didn't look like a golden doodle. And I thought, why complain about that? Just, she's unique. Get her because she's unique. Aw, why, Barry? Oh, the bell rang. Have a good rest of your day, Barry. Oh, you don't have to do that, Haggis. That's very sweet of you, but you don't have to do that. The cages are $25 and then the tunnels on top of that, but I do get a discount being at the pet store, but um yeah, I want to give them something that they can have playtime so they're not just constantly in a bin. I don't want to be those breeders that don't care about, giving them a good life while they're alive. Okay, Birdie's like, woman, we need to do this schedule thing. It's time for a nap. They shouldn't be inbreeding the designer dogs. The biggest perk of a mutt are fewer health. Yeah. Yeah, like we have our Valley Bulldogs. They're like a certain different generation. Like a Valley Bulldog is an English boxer or an English Bulldog slash boxer. But our Valley Bulldogs that we've had have had the mother being a Valley and the dad being a boxer. So they're gonna have more boxer in them than English Bulldog. Um, so the strains of, they're very sweet dogs. I mean, every single Valley we've had has had the same parents where their mother is a Valley and their dad is a boxer. And every single one we've had from that litter is the sweetest dog. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We've had two females, we've had two males, and they're all so super sweet. All right, see you later, Birdie. Enjoy your rest time with your little boy, Buster. You're holding back. Holding back what? Yeah, I need to get the mice into a cage because they're being lazy. Nobody wants to get up and do nothing. They need to be where there's something to do. But I should probably go ahead and wrap it up because I have been on for 3 hours. It is after 12:30 p.m. here, and I need to eat. I need to eat something and get the mice into the cage so that they can be active, feed everybody. Gotta feed the rats. I gotta feed the rabbit. The mice have food, but I need to move them into their cage. Yeah, I gotta. Oh, one of the babies is drinking water. But yeah, I gotta get some things. I gotta feed myself, feed the animals, move the mice into their cage. I just gotta get some things done before I gotta go to work today. So, and I still need to do my breeding video. So, which will be when they're in the cage. My connection is struggling. Must be the weather. All right. So I hope everybody has a great day. Have a good Friday, and I will talk with all of you later. Bye.